Hey guys, it's Greg with Apple Explained. Let me know if the audio sounds okay, if the video looks okay. We're doing this live stream from my phone as usual. All right. Jonas said audio is good so far. Thank you for letting me know. Hello and welcome to the Apple Explained live stream for this Saturday, September 5th. Hope you guys had a great week. A few things have happened with Apple in the past week. If you didn't get caught up on some of those things, you can check out my podcast. I don't know if you guys realize, but I do have an Apple Explained podcast channel, and I'm excited to announce that my podcast is officially available on Apple Podcasts in the app. So I'm gonna try to link that to you guys if you want to look into it. Okay, so I'm gonna put all this in the description of this video. The podcasts are an hour long, and I talk about recent news about Apple in the past week, but I also sort of use those headlines as a jumping off point to talk about all sorts of Apple things, Apple history, my experiences with Apple, things that I find interesting that I want to talk about, and that I think you will find interesting too. All right, got the Apple Explained podcast in the description link. You can also just go on the Apple Podcast app and type in Apple Explained, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. I'm also going to put the Secret Club link and the Discord link in the description. I just added those 3 links to the description because after this live stream ends, there's going to be another live stream that's happening right afterward for another hour. And only people in the Secret Club or people who are subscribed to the channel memberships feature can access that live stream. So if you want to join the Secret Club, $3 a month, link in the description. All right, let's get started. I'm going to answer your guys' questions, and we're going to have a good time this afternoon. Techie Kid said, what are your thoughts on the app library? I haven't tried iOS at all. I mean, iOS 14. I don't download betas, so I'm just going to wait until the Gold Master version comes out. When it's released to the public, I'll download it this fall, and then I'll let you guys know what I think. But right now it looks interesting. I mean, the app library is something that's been sort of like an Android feature for many, many years, and Apple has never implemented it. So we'll see how useful it is for me. Snake Killer said, do you own any Apple stock? No, I do not. I just put my money into index funds for retirement. Random Things said, thoughts on Apple Silicon? I've talked about it a lot before, but I think we're going to see some major changes coming as Apple transitions to their own chipsets. I think we're going to see radical new designs. I think we're going to see radically better performance, outperforming Intel's chips. And what's funny is that Intel just recently announced their 11th generation processing chip, which I think people have been waiting on for years and years and years. And they finally got it to market when Apple announced they were moving away from Intel. So that's pretty funny. Kelpie G said, what happened to your gaming channel? It's on hiatus. I'm gonna make a video on there soon. I've been thinking about it. Someone said, when will Fall Guys come to iOS? I have no idea, but I really want it to happen. I want Fall Guys to come to Nintendo Switch. That game looks like so much fun. And it's frustrating that I think it's only available on Windows PC and PlayStation, right? Jonas said, "Have you heard of the Bragy Dash Pro with an uncharge for custom fit molds? Do you think Apple could succeed at this high premium type of model where Bragy could..." I've never heard of Bragy Dash Pro. I'm gonna Google that right now. I don't even know what type of product this is. Oh, it's a pair of headphones. Our modular software suite with embedded AI. Oh, so wait, it's a manufacturing company? I don't understand what this even is. I have no idea what this even is. And their website does not help explain it very well. Hamden said, hashtag Apple is cruel, hashtag free Fortnite. Oh my gosh. If you guys want my 19-minute opinion on the Apple versus Fortnite drama, that was my first podcast episode. I talked about it for almost 20 minutes of the 60-minute episode. Gamer said, do you get every iPhone that comes out? No, I've only had my first iPhone was the iPhone 5, and then I got the iPhone 7, and I didn't get, well, I got the iPhone 5 when it first came out. I actually stayed at the Apple Store overnight to get the iPhone 5. And then the iPhone 7 I waited to buy used until the iPhone 10 came out. That's when I bought the iPhone 7. So I got a good deal. That's also when I got my first Apple Watch, which was the Series 2. And then after the iPhone 7, I got the iPhone 10. And I got that when the 10S came out, so I could get it used for a good deal. I go to swappa.com, not sponsored. I just use their website when I buy my used Apple products because it's the cheapest prices you can get. Then after the iPhone 10, I bought the 11 Pro Max new. Like, that's when I went to New York City to go to the Fifth Avenue Apple Store grand reopening celebration where Tim Cook was. That's where I got that picture of Tim Cook on my Apple Explained Instagram, if you guys haven't seen it. That was at the Fifth Avenue Apple Store. And that was when I got my 11 Pro Max. And I hadn't planned on upgrading to the 11 Pro Max because I loved my iPhone 10. It was still doing everything I needed it to do. And I didn't think there would be much of a difference going from the 10S to the 11. But there were a lot of differences, especially with the camera. But the reason why I got the 11 Pro Max is because of the battery life. My iPhone 10, I was doing a lot with it with my YouTube channel. For example, I use my iPhone for live streaming right now. Also, if I ever am recording footage or if I'm recording myself, I use my iPhone. So it's important that it can hold a charge, especially considering that that's not the only thing I use my iPhone for. I also use it throughout the day for other things. So the fact that I can have an iPhone that lasts all day, it has literally all day battery life, sometimes 2-day battery life. Even when I'm doing really intense tasks like this, like doing a live stream for an hour, doing another live stream for the secret stream for an hour, and then doing the 15-minute Discord questions. By the way, you can ask a question on Discord for free. You can ask one question every live stream. Then I answer it afterwards in a video that I post on Discord. So I do all those things it probably takes 2 hours and 15 minutes, and my phone will still have at least 50% charge, usually 60% charge. And then by the end of the day, it's at like 30%. So it's the battery life was the major selling point of this 11 Pro Max. And I'll probably buy the I'll probably buy the 12 when it comes out. Prabhas said, I have an unpopular opinion. The new design for iPhone 12 kind of sucks because the old one used to fit in the hand better and felt better. Any opinion? Anyway, love your videos. I appreciate that. By the way, I just posted a new video. The iPhone 12 kind of sucks because the old one used to fit in the hand better. I guess it just depends on your preference. A lot of people thought the rounded, curved edges, starting with the iPhone 6 and being used every iPhone generation since then up to today, was slippery. They thought that curved edge made it slippery. And I agree, I think it does make it slippery. Much more slippery than the iPhone 5 or the iPhone 4 because they had flat edges. So I'm looking forward to flat edges. I like them on my iPad Pro. I liked them on my iPhone 5. I think most people are looking forward to that design. Oh, Jonas said Braji tried doing nationwide true wireless earbuds with custom fit molds, but never sold well due to price and niche. Well, how much were they? Are we talking $200? Are we talking $500? Are we talking $1,000? Do you think Apple's influence could do it successfully? No, it's too niche. It's way too niche. Saying people don't want custom molds to fit their ear perfectly. They just want to buy a headphone that fits. You know what I mean? They don't want to go in, have to do a mold of their ear, send it into a company, wait 2 weeks, have them make the custom ear whatever, send it back to them, connect the earpiece to your headphone, and then after a month of messing around, you can finally use your product. Nobody wants that. Plus, what if you lose the earpiece? Like, what if you lose that custom molded thing that you just paid however much for, that took 2 or 3 weeks to get to you? You have to do that process all over again. It's a headache. It's really inconvenient. People are always, it's really important to understand, people are always willing to sacrifice quality, optimization, price, for convenience. Like, convenience is the ultimate selling point. If you can make someone's life more convenient, your product has a very, very good chance of being successful. Mr. Pascal 2008 said, do you really like Apple that much? With about 10 question marks. Yes, I really like Apple that much. I love Apple. I fell in love with them when I was 12 years old. I was in 6th grade at my friend's birthday party. He had the 5th generation iPod, the iPod Video. I had never seen an iPod in person before. He gave it to me to try out, and I fell in love instantly. Although I didn't have any knowledge at the time of Apple, I didn't have any understanding of them as a company, I just knew that whoever made that product I was holding, that iPod, was a genius because it was the most incredible hardware I'd ever used. The click wheel was incredible. The way it felt was incredible. The software was incredible. It was simple. I had always been into like technology, but I had never seen a company do it so well before. And ever since I was 12, that's when I got into Apple. I started researching everything. I started reading every Apple book I could get. I watched every Apple documentary, Apple movie, Pirates of Silicon Valley. I watched everything. I read all the Wikipedia pages of Apple, of Steve Jobs, of Phil Schiller, of Jonathan Ive, of Tim Cook, of Craig Federighi. I memorized their history. I memorized the product prices. I memorized the product models. I would tell my friends about them. I would get excited about every single Apple event and watch the whole thing and then watch them again and then watch them again. I was so obsessed with Apple that every time Steve Jobs would have an event, I would take his slides and recreate them myself in Keynote. And I literally had a presentation of 400 to 500 slides that I had just recreated from Steve Jobs keynotes. I would stand in front of my younger sister or younger brother or whoever would listen to what I was doing, whoever would be there. And I would act like I was Steve Jobs, go through the presentation, click through the slides, and literally not word for word, but just recreate that Apple keynote. I was obsessed with Apple. I bought a black turtleneck, the Levi jeans with no belt, the New Balance white shoes to recreate Steve Jobs' outfit. I collected the Apple drawstring bags. I still have a whole thing of Apple drawstring bags that they don't sell anymore, or they don't have anymore. I would get like Macworld magazines. I would cut out the Apple advertisements in the magazines, and then I would paste those like elements. Like if it was an iPod Nano ad, it would have like 4 different iPod Nanos on the page. I would cut out each individual iPod Nano, tape them to my wall. I actually have a photo of I took a not styrofoam, I forget what it's called, but kind of like styrofoam, black board, and then I projected, I don't know what I did. I think I projected the Apple logo onto the styrofoam board. I traced it with a pencil. I took a utility knife or an X-Acto knife, one of those, and I carved out the Apple logo from this black styrofoam cutting board thing and taped it to my wall. And then underneath that Apple logo, I had every single Apple box I had collected. And I have a photo of that. I think that photo's on Instagram, I think. I have been obsessed with Apple since I was 12. Apple guy said, why did they take away MagSafe? I think it's for a number of reasons. I think they took it away because one, Apple's notebooks now have like 10 hours of battery life. Now, that's a very optimistic estimate. Because if you're doing anything intense, if you're doing photo editing, video editing, even if you're using Chrome, it's going to deplete the battery much quicker than what Apple estimates. I mean, even if you have the backlight on your display turned to 100%, because Apple does their tests with the backlight, I think at 75%. So even then, you're going to be losing battery quicker. But I think what Apple would say is, look, our notebooks have all-day battery life. So you don't have to be tethered to the power cable like you used to when notebooks got 5 hours of battery life. Also, I think USB-C doesn't have such a strong connection to devices, especially notebooks. If you yank on a USB-C cable, it's not going to pull your computer with it. It's not that strong. It will slide out because the connection isn't so strong. So I think for those reasons, Apple decided that MagSafe was a solution to a problem that really didn't exist anymore. And I think it's true. I think we really don't need MagSafe anymore. Socrates said, okay, but iOS 6 hit different back in the day. iOS 6 was a different animal. That's true. Tech Support 450 said, what do you think of Neurophone Neuraloop? Do you think Apple will do the same idea? It's a headphone that adapts to your custom ear listening. What's custom ear listening? Neuraloop. Personalized sound technology. The Neuraloop automatically learns how you hear in about a minute and adapts the sound to deliver a revolutionary experience. Interesting. I didn't know, I wasn't aware that people like heard things differently. I mean, Apple might include that type of technology at some point if it actually has a major real world effect on your listening experience. I wasn't even aware that was possible. Jonas said, are you a Nintendo Switch user? Yes, I am. Also, if you have the new iPad Pro with the LiDAR scanner, I know the camera is great, as well as the mic quality for recording. I don't have that iPad Pro. And I don't like recording with my iPad because it's too big. I can't put it on I have a little tripod thing for my iPhone that fits perfectly, and the iPad's just, it's too big. But sometimes for video reviews, I would use my iPad because I would have to use my iPhone to demonstrate something in the video review. Eddie Glez Vlog said, do you love Mountain Dew? I love Diet Mountain Dew. I love my Diet Mountain Dew. ABCDXYZ said, will prices of iPhones decrease in India as now they will be manufacturing them here? I think so. I really think so. I'm not sure, but it makes sense. The whole reason why Apple's manufacturing iPhones, I forget exactly which iPhone models. I know it's the iPhone SE and I think it's the iPhone 11 are now being made in India, or at least there's a, factory in India making them. And the whole reason why Apple did that was for two reasons. Number one, they wanted to make a retail store in India, but the government wasn't letting them because in order to build a retail store in that country, you have to produce your product using at least 30% Indian sourced components. I believe that's what it is. And Apple's iPhones were not created using 30% Indian sourced components. So then you have to build it there, like you have to set up a factory there to do it. So that's what they did. And they achieved that standard and are now building a retail store in India, their first one ever, which is extremely important for Apple users in India. The second reason why they were building there is because of the tariffs and import taxes that make their products so expensive in that country. Because keep in mind, India is a very price sensitive market. And if you release an expensive smartphone there, only a certain class of people will be able to afford that smartphone. It's basically seen as a luxury status symbol. But if you can make an affordable smartphone, I think most people, the average customer in India has a budget of, I think it was $200 to $300 when shopping for a smartphone. So Apple's $700 iPhone 11 is too expensive. The iPhone SE is getting there. The problem is they still have those import tariffs and taxes inflating the price of the iPhone SE, so it's still expensive. So hopefully they can get that down. I'm not sure exactly of the details of how that's going to happen, when that's going to happen, how much the price will be reduced, but it should happen. Robot, thank you for that $2 Canadian super chat. Oh, also Kipper the Man, thank you for that $1 super chat. I did not see that, and you did not put a message with that. I think in order to send a message, you have to send at least $2. But I appreciate the super chat, Kipper the Man. And Robot said, can you show any iBook G3 clams if you have them? I do not own an iBook, so I cannot show you that. I apologize. Jack Philpott said, what do you think of netbooks? Netbooks were popular. They got pretty popular, actually. From like 2008, 2009, 2010. That was like the height of the netbook. But it was very short-lived because the iPad came out and pretty much single-handedly destroyed the netbook market. Because if you guys weren't around for the whole netbook thing, netbooks were like, how can I compare it? What can I compare it to? Netbooks were basically laptops with tiny, like 6-7 inch displays. Tiny. These things were tiny, like a Nintendo Switch, like tiny. They had tiny keyboards. They had the smallest trackpad I've ever seen in my life. The trackpad was like the size of a postage stamp. And really, really bad software, really, really slow performance. And this is why I say people value convenience over anything else, because those things were so small and compact that you could take them anywhere. They were extremely portable. And that's what people loved about them. Even though the battery life was terrible, I think they probably got like 2 hours, 3 hours of battery life. Really low quality, tiny displays, really slow performance, terrible keyboard, tiny trackpad. I mean, it was just the worst possible computer experience you can ever imagine. But they were cheap, they were like $200-$300, and they were extremely portable. And that's what people wanted. They just wanted a way to get on the internet to do some sort of desktop tasks on the go in a cheap form factor. The problem was the experience was compromised in almost every way you can imagine. But they got very popular. I shouldn't say very popular. They got popular, netbooks did, in a very short amount of time. Until the iPad in 2010. When the iPad came out, everybody thought it was going to be $1,000. It was $500, and it was the perfect competitor to the netbook, because it offered a way for you to do all these desktop tasks that netbooks were doing, like checking email, like going on the internet, like, I mean, what else were people using netbooks for? I think that's pretty much the only things you could do. Going on YouTube, just like things like that. Not only could an iPad do that, but it could do more. And it was even more powerful, more capable. The design was better. It was thinner. And it was just as portable as a netbook. The battery life was it had 10-hour all-day battery life. It blew netbooks out of the water. And I think that's part of the reason why the iPad was so successful, because there was a demand for that type of device. And that's why the netbook went out of business. Maximilian said, "Hi Greg, I've seen all your videos and please keep making more. I appreciate that." Julia Ha said, "Are you an Apple employee?" I am not an Apple employee. I have never worked for Apple. I have only worked for the Apple section of the University of Cincinnati bookstore. So technically, I was not employed by Apple. I was employed by a company called Follett, who owned that bookstore. But I did work in the Apple section, so I got to talk about Apple stuff, and it was so much fun. But I have never worked for Apple in my life. Eric Yoon said, what new Apple products are you going to buy this year? Probably every single one of them. No, I'm okay, here's what I'm most excited about. And I do talk about this a little bit in my podcast. Link in the description if you want to see that. It's near the end. I talk about some of the rumors and some of the upcoming products that are supposed to come out. And what I'm really excited about the most is AirPods Studio. Alex Diaz, I see that super chat. I'll get to it in a minute. The AirPods Studio, I think, are going to be an incredible product. It could disrupt the over-ear headphone market just like the AirPods disrupted the earbud market. And I currently use these Bose QC35-2s. It's an older model. I think it's probably 4 years old or 5 years old. And I had to replace the ear cups because they were getting too worn down. I use these every day, probably my most used pair of headphones, because when I'm at my desk, I like to have these style of headphones that go around your ear, because it's way more comfortable than having something in your ear. My ear gets itchy when they're sitting in there for hours and hours and hours on end. These are much more comfortable. Also, the noise canceling technology is way better than the AirPods Pro. The sound quality is way better. I just love these headphones. The problem though, I have to make sure I'm putting them on correctly. You know what I mean? I have to do like one of these sorts of things and then be like, okay, that's how they go on. Also, every time I put them on, I kind of have to like adjust, like, you know, and they need to be a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. Because when you take them on and off, it can kind of slide around and get off of the optimal length that you put it to. This band, it's a little thick, it's a little hefty, and you can really feel it. The weight distribution, it's got like a pressure point right here. You can feel that on your head the whole time. Also, like, they can fall off quite easily. If you bend down to do something, they slide around. So there's some improvements that can be made, and I think they did make some of those improvements with the new version of these headphones that came out, I think that at the end of last year. I didn't buy them because I'm waiting on Apple's headphones. But what Apple's planning on doing with the AirPods Pro, it sounds really exciting. They're going to have reversibility, so it's going to be like a symmetrical product. You can just grab them, put them on. It'll automatically detect which one's on the right ear, which one's on the left ear. It's going to have supposedly great sound quality, great noise cancellation, and when you take it off of your ears, like, see, look, I just put them on the wrong way. When you take them off and you put them down like that, this is a very common thing to do with these types of headphones. Boom, and then boom. It will automatically detect that it's off of your ear, and it'll pause the music, similar to how when you remove an AirPod, it'll automatically pause what you're listening to. Apple will integrate that will put that technology on their headphones. Really excited about it, really excited about the design, really excited about how it's gonna feel. I think they're gonna make it feel really, really lightweight, really good on the head. So I'm so excited for the AirPods Studio. I think I'm honestly even more excited about the AirPods Studio than about the iPhone 12. Okay, Alex Diaz, thank you for that $5 super chat. Alex said, I don't know what I've missed, but what do you think will be Apple's first Apple Silicon Mac? The rumors right now say Apple will be creating a 12-inch MacBook as their first custom silicon computer that will be released at the end of this year for $900. I think it'll start at $900. That's what the rumors are saying right now, and it makes sense because I think in this transition, Apple's going to start with the lower end products first, like the MacBook, like the Mac Mini, and then they're going to work their way, like maybe to MacBook Pro, maybe the iMac, and then. But I think that higher end stuff, because everybody's waiting for the iMac. Everybody is waiting for the iMac update, the big one. And it's not going to come until the end of next year because I think the iMac is going to be one of the last ones. Alex also said, FYI, I do work for Apple. Oh, that's cool. And we watch all your videos. That is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Were you the one, Alex, that told me last time that Apple shows my history of videos sometimes before meetings in the Apple retail store? Were you the guy that told me that? Because there was someone who said that and it made my day. And I'll never forget about that. Because keep in mind, guys, I applied for the Apple Store. Well, you don't really apply. You just create an application and you submit it to their database online. And then they choose from that database who they want to invite to a hiring event. So I was invited to 4 different hiring events and I never got an interview. I never went anywhere. I never got a job at Apple. So knowing that they watch my videos, it's kind of like there's a piece of me that's like at Apple, pretty much. Like if I can't work for Apple, at least my videos can be used by Apple. That's pretty cool. Abhimanyu Kumar said, what's your internet connection speed? I think I'd pay for, well, let me check right now. Hold on, let me check. I think it's 60 megabits per second. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's 60. It's 60. Oh, but it's going up pretty high though. Maybe it's 80. Maybe it's 90. It's going up to 90. It's going up to 100. Maybe it's 100. Wow, my internet is nice right now. All right, it went up to 104. So maybe it's am I paying for 100? I don't feel like my internet is that fast though. I think it really depends on the time of day and who else is using it and all that kind of stuff. Max Gaming said, when is the iPad Air 4 coming? Probably this fall. Probably this fall. That's what all the rumors are saying. Adhithya said, thoughts of Apple versus Epic Games. Yes, if you want my thoughts, watch my first podcast episode. It's the first thing I talk about, and I talk about it for almost 20 minutes. You get my full, detailed opinion on that. And not much has changed since then. Brendan said, what do you think of the Surface Duo? I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's better. Sorry, I got distracted. I think it's a better approach than the Samsung Galaxy Fold. I'm just not sure. I'm just still not sure. When it comes to this foldable thing, I just don't know. I haven't used any of the products. Monwar said, what if Apple didn't exist? I have no idea. That would be very sad. Seon said, why don't you use Beats? They are in the Apple ecosystem and they are over ear. I don't like Beats. I've tried 2 different Beats headphones. Did not like any of them. Do not like Beats at all. They're not comfortable. Noise cancellation isn't as good. I think the sound quality is way too bass heavy, and I don't like the design. Um, Maybe they've gotten better, but I mean, I used them a couple years ago. I think maybe a few years ago. I have never had a good experience with those headphones. Richard Lee said, "Will your podcast come to other platforms?" Well, as of right now, it's on YouTube, on the Apple Explained podcast channel, link in the description. It's on Apple Podcasts. What other platform, like what platform do you guys use to listen to podcasts? I could put it on Google Podcasts. I just don't know where else to put it. Hora said, "Hello, I want to ask you if a Nike Apple Watch 5 is still worth it. Should I wait for the Series 6? The problem is my birthday is on September 24th, and I want to get an Apple Watch on that day." Oh my God, that is funny. Wait, I just missed that. Okay, here it is. That is funny. September 24th. You know what? You're going to be right on the cusp of the new Apple Watch coming out. It may even be out by the end of this month or the end of next month. So if you are dead set on having a new Apple Watch on your birthday because it's your birthday, then you can get a Series 5. There probably won't be a ton of changes to the Series 6, but you could also just wait a month and get the new model. It's funny that you're like dead set on getting it on your birthday. That's funny. Okay, we have to talk about what just happened. Alex Diaz just sent me a record-breaking $100 super chat. That is unbelievable. That is way too much, Alex. That is a record. Previous record was $55. This is unbelievable. Never thought someone would send me $100. That is crazy, Alex. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oh my God. Alex Diaz said, yes, that was me. He's referring to when I asked him if he's the guy who told me that Apple shows my history of videos in the retail store before some meetings. He said, yes, that was me. If you're ever in Austin, Texas, I want to meet you. I have been through Texas. I've never really been to, yeah, because when I went through Texas, it was like the top of Texas. So I didn't get down into any of the cities. I'll take you to Apple Campus. Is there an Apple Campus in Texas? Oh, Texas Apple Campus. Oh, that's right. 2019. Yes. 5,000 employees. Yeah, that's a recent thing. Gotcha. In Austin, Texas. Also, during lockdown, I've learned how to edit videos and have been having so much fun with it. Oh, that's great. Is there a way I can see your channel? What's your channel, Alex? Is it just Alex Diaz? I hope I can reach your level of quality one day. Oh, that's nice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. My birthday is tomorrow. Well, then I'm the one who should be giving you $100. I really appreciate that, Alex. Let me know what your YouTube channel is, and I'll check it out. I want to see what kind of videos you're making, how you're doing. Give you some advice. I really appreciate the generosity. Wow. I would love to see what kind of videos you're making. And yes, if I'm ever in Austin, Texas, if you could get me, some exclusive access to the Apple campus, that would be awesome. Because I saw the One Infinite Loop campus in San Francisco, and I went to the Mac Cafe. That was incredible. But you're not allowed to actually go inside the One Infinite Loop building. And when I was in San Francisco, it was before they built Apple Campus 2. So I guess I need to go to Texas to see that Apple campus. I need to go back to San Francisco to see the Apple Campus 2, especially since they have a visitor center. Alex, our moderator, it is his birthday today. It was his birthday yesterday. Yeah, Alex's birthday was on the 3rd. So happy birthday, Alex. I'm not sure if is Alex here? Again, oh, Alex, wait. Yeah, Alex, wait. Alex, are you the Alex? I'm confused now. I'm confused. There's an Alex moderator, right? We have a moderator named Alex, and then we have Alex Diaz. But I don't think Alex, the moderator, is the same as Alex Diaz. Is that true? Because Alex's birthday, our moderator, was on the 3rd, but Alex Diaz, you're saying your birthday is tomorrow. So we have 2 Alex birthdays recently. So happy birthday to Alex, our moderator, and happy birthday to Alex Diaz. That was a confusing moment. All right. Laksha Dua said, who is Apple's biggest rival according to you? I think it's Samsung. Samsung competes with Apple not only in the smartphone market, and they're competing quite well against Apple, but they're trying to implement the same ecosystem strategy that Apple has done successfully. And even though a lot of companies have tried to do the whole ecosystem thing where they create the smartphone, the tablet, the computer, the smartwatch, only Samsung has been fairly successful in giving Apple a run for their money when it comes to ecosystem integration and stuff like that. So that's why I think they are Apple's closest competitor. Microsoft really isn't. Microsoft is more into services and software than they are into hardware, so I think that automatically disqualifies them. They do compete. I mean, they do compete against Apple, but they're not one of Apple's top competitors. And Google tried to create a tablet, it failed, so they're only doing the smartphone thing. And the Chromebook, which I don't think the Chromebook is even in the same category as a traditional notebook with its own operating system and not a cloud-based operating system. And there was someone else. Google. Because Microsoft tried to create their own smartphone and it failed. So yeah, I think it's definitely Samsung. Alex Diaz, thank you again. You're being way too generous. Thank you for that $5 super chat. You've already spent $110 today. Jesus. Alex said, I'll tweet you my Instagram and YouTube channel. Okay, well, I hope I remember my Twitter password. I have not been on Twitter in a minute. It's telling me welcome. Oh, maybe because they have an update? When was this update? Look, let me show you guys. I went to Twitter and look what it said, because I never get on Twitter. It says, welcome. Welcome back. It's been a while. Twitter just got lots of new features like bookmarks, account switching, and a dark mode. How recent was this update, you guys? Was this a year ago? Or was it recent? It's been a while since I've been on Twitter. I'm not a big fan of Twitter. All right, let's get in here. Notifications, is that how you, okay, there's Alex Diaz. You followed me. I'm going to mentions. Um, I don't see anything. Someone said I stole. This is why I don't get on Twitter. Someone said this guy named Apple Explained stole your video idea. He just made a video called Apple, the Rise and Fall and Rise Again. Can you respond to this at Apple Explained? At company. Who's company? Is there a video called exactly that? Oh, Alex Diaz said I haven't written the tweet yet. Okay, I was a little too fast. Hold on, I'm trying to see what video I stole. Or video title. Let me look it up. Okay. Apple, the Rise and Fall. Apple. Okay, there's a video called The Rise and Fall of Apple. There's a video called The Rise and Fall of the iPod. There's no, I don't see anything called Apple, The Rise and Fall and Rise Again, unless you're talking about my video. Oh, people on Twitter. Oh my goodness. It's like they want drama. It's like people on Twitter just want drama out of nothing. That's what I can't stand about so much of social media. It's like people just go on social media, stir up drama that's based on absolutely nothing except their own desire for something to be dramatic. You know what I'm saying? And then everything has to be public. Like if there is some drama, it can't be handled privately because that's not entertaining. You got to make it public for the whole world to see. I really do not like that aspect of social media. That's why I'm not a big fan of social media. I don't like it at all. Oh my gosh. Barney said, what kind of MacBook do you have? I have the 16-inch MacBook Pro, you know, the most recent model. I love it, by the way. I wanted to hold out for the silicon ARM Apple thing, MacBook Pro, but it's going to come way too late because they said they're going to have that at next year, probably the end of next year. They'll probably introduce the iMac and the MacBook Pro silicon versions at the same time. So I can't wait that long. Okay, I had a 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro with 256 gigabytes of solid state storage. Okay, doing video editing with 256 gigabytes of storage space is like impossible. It's impossible. And I was struggling with that for years, probably a couple years. And I was like, I just need to upgrade. I need space. So I got the 16 gigabyte MacBook Pro with a terabyte of solid state drive. Much better. It has 8 cores instead of 4 cores. It's twice as fast. I love the keyboard. I love the larger display. I love my MacBook Pro. Devish Chopra, thank you for that 40. I think that is an Indian currency super chat. Devish said Twitter is way too positive. I think that's sarcasm. Oh my gosh. There was some other thing that happened, because like I said, I go on Twitter once in a while and someone else I wish I never would have created a Twitter account, honestly. I wish I never would have created an Apple Explained Twitter account. Because people at me and they're like, it was some other, like they were trying to start drama out of nothing. Oh, what was it? It was something really, I wonder if I can find it. People don't talk about me that much. Oh man, I can't find it. Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know. It's just so, it's just immature. Oh, Alex, our moderator, said, hey, Greg, can't stay, but thanks a lot for wishing me a happy birthday. Please go to mod admin group and answer there by text since I'm leaving now. All right, happy birthday, Alex. I will be there. Soren said Twitter is toxic and so is Facebook. Yeah, just some crazy stuff going on there. Sri Govind Varir said, why did you create this channel? Because actually I watched if you go back to my videos and go from oldest to newest, my first video ever was it was an edit of the introduction of the 2008 MacBook, the first unibody model. And Apple explained in that presentation, like the unibody design. Jonathan Ive went on stage and talked about it. And it was like a 40-minute presentation talking about that MacBook. But I thought, oh my goodness, there are some really interesting like pieces of information in this presentation that a lot of people probably won't see because they don't want to watch for a 40-minute video from Apple. So I took that video and edited it down to 8 minutes and uploaded that. And it got, it got thousands of views. It was good. But you have to understand that back in the day of YouTube, like in the early days, yes, there were popular YouTubers, but it wasn't, most people weren't in the mindset of you create a channel like you're creating a company. Like it wasn't like that back then because you couldn't make money from it. Monetization on YouTube didn't start until I think 2008, 2009. And even when it started, those monetization features were only available for top creators. So the normal person on YouTube would have no idea you could make money from it. And the typical like Google AdSense stuff that we're seeing today on YouTube didn't come until much later. And the first video I uploaded was in 2008. So I was just coming at it from the angle of this is a hobby and these are videos I want to see on YouTube that I can't find on YouTube. That's why you see the history of the iPod video. I made that in Keynote because I already had skills to create keynotes from recreating Apple's keynote, from recreating Steve Jobs slides. So I used those skills to create the video I wanted to see and just posted it on YouTube. There was no monetization. There was, of course, no sponsorships. There was no way to make money. Luckily, the videos did fairly well in those days, but they didn't go viral. I wasn't getting subscribers or anything like that. So I only uploaded like once a year. And then it was in 2017 when my videos started going viral. That's when I realized, oh, I can monetize these videos. I can actually make money from it. And then I remembered when I enabled monetization on my history of iPhone video in 2017, I made $20 in one day. And even though that's not very much money, it sort of opened my eyes to like, look, this is just one video and you just made $20 in a day. That's $600 a month, right? Yeah, $600 a month. That's pretty good. I mean, that's rent back then. I wonder if I can like scale this up. I wonder if I can repeat what I did with this video and make other videos that'll also do well. I wonder if I can, get a following, get subscribers. I wonder if I can grow this. I wonder if I can create a successful YouTube channel. Because at that point, I had never thought of it as a channel, as like a company or anything like that. So that's why at that time, I think my channel was called Greg Wyatt. It was just my name because that's sort of the approach that's sort of how people thought of YouTube back then. It was just people posting videos. So that's how it happened. Estro Bink said, Greg, what time EST EST. That's my time, right? Yeah. Does this live stream start each Saturday? It starts at noon Eastern time. Just left a 5-star review for you on your new podcast on the Apple Podcast app. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you guys do enjoy the podcast and you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, do not hesitate to leave a review. I would really appreciate that. It really does help new people start to listen to the podcast. Thank you so much, Estro Bink. This live stream does start at noon Eastern time every Saturday. It ends at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then the secret stream will be happening in a minute. So if you want another hour of live streaming, join the Secret Club, link in the description. It's only $3 a month. I try to make it as affordable as possible for you guys. And then you get to see an extra hour of live streaming. Not only can you ask me all the questions you want, but I ask you guys questions. And then we can get to know each other better than in this public live stream with, over 200 people watching. Robut, thank you for that $5 Canadian super chat. Maybe it's Roboot. I keep saying Robut. Thanks for feeding me with Apple info every once in a while. Am I not uploading enough for you, Roboot? Here's $5, probably my largest donation. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Roboot. I really, really do. Keep up with the videos. I appreciate that so, so much. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. It has been an hour of public live streaming. We have over 200 people. I really appreciate that. Again, if you want to hear me talk more about Apple stuff, watch my podcast. I have 2 episodes so far. They're an hour long each. I talk about Apple versus Fortnite. I talk about Apple Glass. I talk about rumors of the new products that are supposed to be coming out in the next couple months. I talk about Apple's early days in episode number 2. There's just a lot of content there for you guys if you are interested in watching. Also, I just released a new video an hour ago, right before I went live, and it was the Apple, the Rise and Fall, and Rise Again. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for watching the secret stream. Okay, if you're a Secret Club member, check the Discord server and check the Apple Explained community tab. I will be posting links to the secret stream for Secret Club members only in a couple minutes, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Robot. Thank you, Devish Chopra. Thank you, Alex Diaz, so much. Thank you, Kipper the Man, for the super chats today. I really appreciate your guys' support and generosity. I hope you have a great week. I will see you next Saturday.